Welcome. Today, we're not just looking at a system for understanding reality, we're opening the blueprints to you. Together, we're going to explore a framework designed not to teach you something new, but to help you remember who and what you are at the very deepest level of your being.
Right. Let's start here, because this gets to the absolute heart of it. This whole thing, it's all built on a radical act of remembering. It's about peeling back all those layers of illusion to get back to an awareness that has always been there, an awareness that was never created and so can never be destroyed.
So, to navigate this, we're going to follow this exact blueprint. We'll start with one single foundation. Then we'll explore the cosmic framework. After that, we'll look at the internal operating system, ground it all in modern physics, and then finally, we'll get into how you can embody the role of the architect in your own reality.
You know, every grand structure has to rest on a single, powerful foundation. For this entire system, that foundation is the simple yet absolute axiom, I am. This is it. This is the metaphysical certainty that everything else is built on. The core principle here is that your own self-knowing mind, that feeling of awareness right now, that is a direct perception of reality itself. That inner experience, that qualia, is the pure, undeniable feeling of timeless existence. And what that means is that creation isn't something you go out and chase. It's something you just allow to manifest from this primary state of being.
So this principle asserts that what appears to be objective reality is, in the end, a product of consciousness. And the crucial point, the real takeaway, is that you are the shaper and author of your environment. Circumstances don't define you, they're just a mirror reflecting the internal state you've chosen to assume.
Okay, so let's move up a level to the cosmic schematics and see how this thing is built. This system maps consciousness directly onto the structure of the universe itself, using sacred geometry and dimensional hierarchies. It's a blueprint showing that your mind and the cosmos, they're not separate things at all.
So, what are we really looking at here? Well, this diagram models consciousness as a torus. Think of it like a self-sustaining looping flow, kind of like a donut shape. Just imagine information moving from the past, flowing right through the center, the present moment, and out into the future, before cycling all the way back around. This suggests our own consciousness is just a smaller fractal version of this exact universal pattern, constantly processing and expressing information in this incredible dynamic loop.
And this next blueprint, wow, it shows you the sheer scale of that idea. I mean, look at how it maps consciousness across all these different dimensions. It's descending from a single source, way up at the very top, down through all these different levels of being, all the way to our physical reality right here at the bottom. What this model is saying is that your being isn't just here and now, it's like a vertical spine of awareness that exists across all these layers, all at the same time.
Now, what's so fascinating about this slide is how you see all these different ancient traditions synthesized into one single cohesive map. The Holy Tetractys, Kashmir Shaivism, the Egyptian Jed Pillar. They're all seen here as just different languages trying to describe the exact same fundamental journey, a descent from a unified source into material form, a journey your own consciousness has already taken.
Okay, so we've seen the cosmic map, the grand architecture, but how do we actually navigate it? This is where we shift from the blueprint of the universe to the operating system of your mind. And this is where all that abstract philosophy becomes a set of practical, repeatable techniques to consciously program the self you want to embody.
So, the system says that real control comes from a metacognitive shift. It's about stepping outside the normal flow of 3D thought to a 4D observation point. The inner feeling, that qualia of this state, is described as geometric certainty. It's that feeling of absolute control that you get when you can observe the entire pattern of your thoughts, instead of just being trapped inside the maze.
So how do we use this 4D space? Well, through protocols just like this one. It's a systematic process for impressing a new reality, let's just say the successful completion of a big project, we'll call it Poly 186, onto the subconscious. And it works because your nervous system literally cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. And this table, this shows the core tool for real-time mental programming. Let's just look at that first example, nominalization. That's when you turn a process into a static thing. So when a thought like the failure of that prototype pops up, it feels like a solid, unchangeable fact, right? But the 4D inquiry, how specifically are we failing, instantly converts that fixed noun back into a dynamic process you can actually influence. And that generates that immediate, visceral feeling, that qualia, of reclaiming your sovereign power.
Now, to really anchor these,
let's be honest, pretty esoteric ideas, the system turns to modern theoretical physics. It finds these incredible parallels that serve as a kind of validation for its metaphysical claims, grounding the whole architecture in the language of science. The central analogy here is M-theory. See, just like its principle of duality shows that different physical theories can actually be two sides of the same coin, this system argues the exact same thing is true for spiritual and philosophical truths. And those 11 dimensions proposed in M-theory, well, that provides a really powerful parallel to those multidimensional models of consciousness we were just looking at.
The system directly maps the physics of string theory onto the Hermetic principle of vibration. The idea here is really simple. Everything is moving, everything vibrates. So the difference between a thought, a feeling, and a physical object isn't a difference in kind, but a difference in frequency. It suggests a deep, resonant connection between the very structure of reality and the nature of consciousness itself.
And that brings us to the final stage. How do we make this real? I mean, the goal isn't just to understand the blueprint, is to become the architect, to live from this I am state and manifest your specific vision. Let's call that vision P3. From a place of being the cause, not the effect.
This diagram really shows the core feedback loop. You see, your chosen identity, that I am concept of the divine architect, that sets the goal. And that is then embodied through your repeated actions and habits which impress themselves upon the plastic, creative medium of reality to produce a manifest effect. In our example, the successful completion of the Poly 186 project.
And this connects directly to the power of atomic habits. That grand identity of the divine architect, it's not something you achieve in one giant leap. It's built vote for vote, with every single conscious choice you make. Every linguistic correction, every moment of disciplined visualization, that is a vote you are casting for the reality you are choosing to inhabit. The crucial point is that this is the apex of the system. It's a dynamic, stable state, where the separation between your highest ideal and your present self just collapses into a single toroidal flow. There's no longer a struggle to become anything. There's only the seamless expression of what you already are.
Ultimately, this entire intricate architecture, the physics, the psychology, the geometry, it all leads to this one final question. This whole blueprint points to a single, powerful axiom. You don't have to become, because you already are. Thank you for joining us.